Alright, this is the last video for Unit 4, Formative 1, writing functions from tables and word problems. Alright, so what is the function describing the relationship between the number of hours and miles? So on these problems, we first need to find slope, because what we're going to do is we are going to write our problems in y equals mx plus b when they're table form. Okay? So and if you remember, m is our slope and b is our y-intercept. Okay, so we need to find those two. So we can find the slope from the table. Okay, remember we're going to look, this one's increasing 70, 70, and 70, and this is 2, 2, and 2. So we know our slope is 70 over 2, which is going to reduce to 35 over 1. Okay. All right, so we know right now we have in our equation, we are still needing to find b. Okay, so how we're going to do, there's a couple ways to find b, but the easiest way that I found to find b is to go ahead and plug in x and y. So remember that this x here, okay, and this y can come from this table. I can plug in an x and a y into those and then find b. Okay, all right, I know it's a little different, but bear with me. So we're going to go back to this, y equals mx plus b, and we're going to plug in what we know, okay? I'm going to go ahead and take the first group just because it's the smallest numbers. So in this, remember that this is x, this is y, so 70 is my y. I already know my slope is 35, and my x value that goes with 70 is 2. So I'm going to put a 2 there, and then I'm going to put a plus b. Okay, this will let us find our b. All right, so we have 70 equals, and then 35 times 2 is 70, plus b. Subtract 70, and b equals 0. So my y-intercept is 0. Okay, so my equation actually is y equals 35x. All right, so let's try another one. So again, we're going to work in this form. All right, so we need to find the slope. So my slope, if you notice, those are all increasing by 1, and those are all increasing by 3. Okay, so my slope is the change in y, which is 1, over the change in x, which is 3. Okay, so right now we're going to pick. So we have slope. Now I need my b. Okay, in order to find b, I'm going to use my formula again and plug in what I know. Okay, so I'm going to pick a y. So let's go ahead, just for sake, let's go ahead and pick this as our point. Okay, so my y point here is 4 equals, my slope is 1/3, my x is 12, and I'm looking for my b. Okay, so I have 4 equals, 1/3 of 12 is 4, plus b, subtract 4, and b equals 0. So my equation, now, since I know what b is y equals mx plus b. And there's my equation. All right, last one. A cell phone company charges $150 each month and $5.50 for each gigabyte over the data plan. What is the function describing the relationship between the overage charges and the total monthly bill? So again, we're going to use our same formula. Okay. But on this one, we don't have a table or we don't have a chart. Okay, so we know all our information though, because right now the 150 is my y-intercept. Okay, as soon as I get there, no matter how much data I use, I have $150 that I'm going to pay. Okay, now if I go over, that's $5.50 for every gigabyte I go over. and then equals y. Okay, so my equation is $5.50 times gigabytes plus 150. Okay, now a couple things. All right, so just a couple things. Make sure you know that X is the gigabytes, and then this is like the total bill. Okay, so here's my equation. I'm going to use this. All right, find the cell phone charges if a customer went 5 gigabytes over their plan. Okay, so we're going to use this. So 5 gigabytes over plan. So I want to know the total, so that's my Y. And it's $5.50 for every gigabyte over, and we went 5 gigabytes over, plus the $150 flat fee. Okay, so $5.50 times 5 is $27.50. Plus the $150. Our total bill would be $177.50. Okay, if we went 5 gigabytes over plan. All right, how many gigabytes did the customer go over if they had a total bill of $232.50? Okay, so now they're giving us the total. So now they're giving us Y. So we have $232.50 equals 550 X plus 150. So again, I just used my formula. Okay, now I'm going to solve for X on this one. Okay, so now I have to solve for X. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 150. I get $82.50 equals $5.50 times X, and now I'm going to divide by 550. And I get X equals 15 gigabytes. So they went over 15 gigabytes if they had to pay $232.50 for their bill. All right, we'll do some more. Just make sure you have this down.